lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Let's talk about one of the devil's greatest devices and deceptions on humanity, the false dichotomy. The information fallacy of false dilemma, also known as the false dichotomy, involves a situation in which two alternative statements are held to be the only possible options, when in reality there exist one or more other options which have not been considered. The concept is also known as false choice, falsified dilemma, and black and white thinking. The false dichotomy need not be limited to two choices. It may involve three possibilities. There may be even more choices involved, in which case the fallacy may arrive simply by accidental omission, possibly through a form of wishful thinking or also deliberate deception. When two alternatives are presented, they are often, though not always, two extreme points on some spectrum of possibilities. This can lend credence to the large argument by giving the impression that the options are mutually exclusive, even though they don't have to be. An example of this false dichotomy is this: you are either with us or against us. You have refused to join our cause, therefore you must be working against our cause. The argument is a false dilemma because it denies the possibility that there is someone who has no interest or is unaware of that cause. The presentation of a false choice often reflects a deliberate attempt to eliminate the middle ground on an issue. Rhetorically, this often takes the form of a statement such as the one I just said: either you are with us or you are against us. Often, people or entities with an agenda present these two false options as the only options, when in reality there are way more alternatives. The assertion that there is no alternative is an example of the false dichotomy, taken to its ultimate extreme, in which the alternatives are reduced to one, the proposal of the speaker. Of course, that speaker does not believe that there are no alternative, otherwise he would not bother to argue the point. Rather, he opposes the alternatives and seeks to dismiss them by denying their existence. Now, the concept of the false dichotomy or the false dilemma has me completely rethinking the movie The Matrix. The plot of the movie The Matrix is this: Thomas A. Anderson is a man living two lives. By day he is an average computer programmer, and by night a hacker known as Neo. Neo has always questioned his reality, but the truth is far beyond his imagination. Neo finds himself targeted by the police when he is contacted by Morpheus, a legendary computer hacker branded a terrorist by the government. As a rebel against the machines, Neo must confront the agents, super powerful computer programs devoted to stopping Neo in the entire human rebellion. Now here is where the concept of the false dichotomy comes into play. Neo Anderson is led to Morpheus by a woman known as the White Rabbit. When Neo encounters Morpheus, he is offered a choice between the red pill and the blue pill by rebel leader Morpheus. Morpheus tells Neo, you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. It is implied that the blue pill is a sedative that would cause Neo to think that all of his most recent experiences were a hallucination, so that he can go back to living in the Matrix simulated reality. The red pill, on the other hand, serves as a location device to locate the subject's body in the real world and to prepare them to be unplugged from the Matrix. The concept of the red and blue pill are used by people in the truth community. Metaphorically, the blue pill symbolizes a convenient lie, while the red pill symbolizes an inconvenient truth. However, I believe Morpheus offered Neo a false dichotomy, two false choices presented as the only options. Because of the false dichotomy or the false dilemma, I believe instead of questioning the red or blue pill, Neo should have questioned Morpheus himself. It's always wise to question where the choices are coming from that are being presented. I believe in the Matrix, Morpheus is actually a representation of the deceiver, and the clue lies in his name Morpheus. In Greek mythology, Morpheus is the god of dreams. He shapes and forms dreams through which he could appear to mortals in any form. The god Morpheus is skilled at transforming himself into such a lifelike apparition that he manages to deceive even the most discerning person. The Greek gods often chose him as their messenger to appear in the dreams of mortals. Dreams could liberate the desires, hopes, and imaginations of the sleeper. Basically, Morpheus is a trickster god. So it's very possible the entire time in the Matrix, Morpheus was actually the bad guy. So the right thing Neo should have done instead of choosing the red or blue pill is to question the source of the two choices, Morpheus. As the Bible states, you need to be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. That way you don't fall for the snares of evil spirits. And if I was a deceiver, I would do exactly what Morpheus is doing. Offer the false dilemma or the false dichotomy. Offer two false choices. After all, the whole premise of the movie is to get Neo to deny his reality, and to go against the architect of the Matrix, which could be a representation for the creator of the world. My little fan theory is that Morpheus came to Neo offering him two false choices. to get him to reject the reality that the architect or God has created, and to become a new man, as his name indicates, Neo Anderson. Throughout our life, we're constantly being offered two choices with no other alternatives, when alternatives definitely do exist in many of these choices. An example of a false dichotomy that happened to me was from a friend. Years ago, a friend told me that if I'm not a Republican, then I must be a Democrat. And if I'm not a Democrat, then I must be a Republican. But that's a false dichotomy. What if I'm neither? What if I'm not interested in politics whatsoever? We're always given this choice, pick this guy or that guy. There's always this good cop, bad cop dynamic, which is incredibly deceptive. Another awful example of the false dichotomy is it's either God versus science, religion versus science. And both the Christians and the atheist fall into this false dichotomy, believing that God and science are completely separate. Atheists say if you're not with science, then you must be against us and you must be with God. And then Christians would say, well, if you're not with God, then you must be with the science. Science must be your God. But again, this is an example of another false dichotomy. God and science is not separate. The Bible actually embraces many scientific truths. In fact, the simple definition of science is the pursuit and application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world following a systematic methodology based on evidence, things you can experience with your five senses. The only thing the Bible is against is false sciences, which the Bible warns to stay away from science falsely called so. An example of the Bible embracing science is found in the beginning of the book of Genesis when humanity was created. God formed Adam from the dust of the ground, from clay. And now apparently scientists are believing that we may have had our beginnings in clay. After all, it is scientifically observable that we are made up of dirt. We have many minerals in our bodies such as iron found in our blood and calcium in our bones. Along with many other minerals, we are living dirt that has been animated by God's breath, His Spirit. So the whole science versus God thing is a false dichotomy. That is black and white thinking. Science and God are not separate. The Bible embraces science, but the Bible rejects science falsely called so, meaning false science. Another example of the false dichotomy that we have experienced throughout history are wars. Whenever a war starts between two sides, we are often pressured by society to pick a side. Either you're with this country or you're with that country, and if you're not with that country, then you're with this country. But as I stated in my Matrix example, instead of choosing between two false alternatives, question where these choices are coming from. Who do the leaders of these two countries that are at war currently serve? Is it the creator of the world, the Most High, or is it the accuser? That's why I believe we shouldn't be ignorant of the devil's devices, and the false dichotomy or the false dilemma is most definitely the devil's device. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was very fruitful. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this and would like to support this channel, I do have a patron that helps me afford things like books and materials to make further content. I appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and comment, and we are out.